this is James from Easterseals, and today we're going to be talking about the 3-2-1-4 combo, or however you want to organize it like that. I know that sounds like a lot of numbers, but it'll make a lot more sense in a second. First of all, what am I talking about with numbers? Well, if you watched my earlier videos, you know I've talked about the 1-2 combination, which is the 1-2 is just the jab followed by the cross. Now a jab is kind of like the light jab, like kind of light, kind of stuns them a little bit. It's not going to do any damage so much, but it kind of sets you up to throw power strikes or to kind of back away. If you feel like someone's charging at you, but you want to keep them at bay, you're like pop, pop. But the power really comes from that 2. So what is a 3 and a 4? Now, a 3 is a hook that goes around the guard. So it's just a short one like that. Now you'll see a lot of movies that will do like the haymakers, these wild punches. Now they do exist. They can be very powerful, but they're also very, very slow. You can see this coming a mile away. You can see this one coming a mile away. Yeah, it's powerful, but your brain's probably going to see that and duck or even just back up. There's a time and place for those, but a hook is just a nice short one like this. It comes out a little bit and then you come right back. The 4, same thing. Nice short circles. If you go into the body, just duck a little bit like that. So what is the 2-3 combo? Now if this is a 1 and this is a 2 and then this is a 3, it would look like this. It would be 2-3, 2-3. So you fully extend over here. Now this hand is loaded up ready to go, and now when you pull back, you throw that hook and come back. 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. Now, could you go back to throwing the 1? Yeah, but that would be kind of if you were finishing off the combo and maybe wanted to escape, where you're like 1, 2, 2, 2, kind of get out of the way of that one. But let's say you wanted to start with your power hand. You come in, throw that punch, pops them right in the face, pops them in the chest or something, or the stomach. They're kneeling over, and you just want one more power punch to do the job. Go in here. Well, this hand's ready to go. So when you pull back, throw that hook. So that's the 2-3 combo right there. Just power and power. They're both heavy power shots. Now the other in order to land the 2, you might need to move in a little bit. You might need to step in and throw it. Because if your opponent's right here, maybe your jab reaches, but not so much your cross. So you might have to step just a tiny bit or lunge a little bit. Kind of fool around with it. Like right here. If I'm throwing here, I'm good. I'm not so much here. Like I'm close. So maybe I need to step in just a tiny bit and lunge just to reach that. That's okay. There's also the 3-2 combo, which is very tricky to do at first, where a lot of people always want to start with the jab, followed by the cross, because it's a good combo. Everyone likes it. But if you always do the 1-2, people are going to recognize that, and they know what your first punch is, they're going to predict it, and they're going to set up a counter right away. So sometimes you want to change it up. And a good way to change it up is people won't see the hook really coming. Now if you telegraph this and go, oh, they're going to see that. But if you're right here and throw a little short hook, that can work. So now you throw that hook, and they're kind of dazed for a little bit, and you want to throw another power. You got that 2 ready to go. So it's just 3-2, 3-2. Going over here, 3-2, 3-2. So you can go 2-3 or 3-2, and both are pretty good combos to do. If I see this one, but I want one more punch, I can throw that in there. If I don't really like the 1 so much, and I want to change it up, I can come in with that 3 and come in with something else. Or, for example, let's say they're rushing you, and you come in with that hook there. It's a good way to land 2 combos without always doing the 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. The other option is the 1-4, in which you start with the 1, and then you have this power hand and going with that. Now the 1-4, this is going to take a really long time to get your opponent. So when you stun them, this one is probably going to take a lot. But if it lands, it's probably going to do a lot of damage. I've also seen people do the 1-4 on an overhand. So it's like 1-2 like that. That's a complicated punch, but it can be really effective if, let's say you have your guard up, and this is pretty blocked, but they don't think about coming overhead. So they just kind of do a downward punch. Once again, it's a very awkward punch, but because it's so awkward, people aren't ready for it. I've gotten hit by it a couple times. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's a good punch. But we go 1, and then when this one comes back, we're throwing in that hook. 1 and go in. So like once again, you don't have to do 2 to the head. You can do 1 to the body, 4 to the head. You can mix it up however you wish. Would I recommend a 4-1? No, because this, if your first punch is this, people are going to see it a mile away. They're either going to duck it or just simply back up, or if I see that coming, I might just throw a kick, just to kind of just to keep you at bay. But this is so telegraphed right here that it's probably not worth it. But if you have the 1 here and the person's stunned for a second, or if you pop them in the stomach and they kind of keel over, that might just be just enough time to throw in that hook. So with every punch, there's pluses and minuses. The plus about the right hook is that it's incredibly powerful, but the downside is that it's incredibly slow. And you just got to time it right. But I probably wouldn't recommend leading with 1 because people are going to see that coming, especially if you throw a haymaker. If anybody has any type of fighting sense, they're going to find a way to block it. Even if they put their hands up on that. I've seen people go and just grab it, and there's a lot you can do in that one. You do not want to telegraph it. So, to recap, you got the 2-3, 2-3. So that's a 2-3. And then you can come in with the 3-2, 3-2. Then you got the 1-4, 1-4, 1-4, and go to the body, 1-4. But watch how slow the 4-1 is. Boom. And then you have that power punch. What is this going to do? Now, if you want to retreat immediately, that's okay. But what's great about the 3-2 and the 2-3 is that they're both pretty good power punches. So you got this one in here. You want one more power punch. And also you can set it up for something else. Once you throw this haymaker right here, maybe you throw an uppercut or something. But this puts you in a very dangerous position right here. So be mindful of that. Anyway, I hope these combinations were useful, and just try them out in the air. So, if you're fooling around, try like a 1-2, 1-2. All right, let's try something different. Let's try a 2-3, 2-3. Let's try another 2-3, 2-3. Let's mix it up, reverse it. 3-2, 1-4. 3-2, 1-2, 1-1-2-3. Try it out. Fool around with it. The more you do it, the more your brain's going to memorize it. So if you're in a fight and you don't see it coming and you're panicking, your body's probably going to throw in that 3-2 without you realizing it. And that's the best way to fight, when you do not have to think about it. If you're in a real fight and you're getting pushed and you're like, okay, I'm going to throw a 2 and then I'm going to throw a 3 and then back away with a 1, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen so fast. You're so much full with adrenaline that you're just going to be on autopilot. And it's important to practice so that autopilot is correct. Anyway, I hope this was informative, and I'll see you next time.